everyone, welcome back to my channel Online Microbiology, and in today's video we are going to discuss about animal tissues. So if we take tissues, so in unicellular organisms, such as unicellular organisms means organisms containing only single cell. So in unicellular organisms the entire functions are performed by a single cell, whereas in multicellular organisms, so multicellular organisms means the organisms contain more number of cells. So these cells which are similar in function, they combine together and form tissues. So tissues means group of cells together constitute a tissue. So and the study of tissues is called histology. So the study of tissues is defined as histology, and the tissues means, if we take these cells are similar in size and similar in function. So these cells together combine and form a tissue, and the study of tissues is called histology. So if we take components of a tissue, so if a tissue is present, so the tissue contains cells and the external matrix. Cells and external matrix. So if we take blood as an example, so blood is called as a fluid connective tissue. So the blood contains cells such as RBC, WBC and platelets. So these are the cells of blood tissue, whereas the external matrix of blood tissue constitute the plasma and the water. So this is about the tissue and its composition. So animal tissues means, so in animals the tissues are broadly classified into 4 types. They are, the number 1 is epithelial tissues, and the second one is connective tissue, third one is muscular tissue, and the fourth one is nervous tissue. So these are the 4 types of tissues in animals. So these 4 tissues differ in the cells and the external matrix. So cells in the epithelial tissue are different. Cells in connective tissue are different. So these 4 tissues differ by the cell composition and the external matrix composition. So based on the types of cells and the external matrix present in the tissues are broadly classified into 4 types. So in today's video we are going to discuss about epithelial tissue. So let us learn about the epithelial tissue in detail. So if we take the location of epithelial tissue, so location means where the epithelial tissues are found in the body. So they are found in the lining of internal organs. So lining of internal organs and the external surface of the body. So surface of the body, so which is nothing but the skin. So these epithelial tissues are found in the lining of internal organs. So these tissues line the internal organs and they are also found in the surface of the body. So epithelial tissues contains different types of cells. So if we take epithelial tissue, these are the different types of cells. So the tissue contains different types of cells, but how the tissues together, how this more number of cells are to combine in the tissues means some type of cementing material is present in the cells. So this is called as a cementing material. So this material is useful for holding the cells together. So this is called a cementing material or junctions. So the cementing material or junctions is useful for binding all the cells in a tissue. So these junctions are broadly classified into 3 types. They are tight junctions. So tight junctions, and the second one is desmosomes, and the third one is gap junctions. So these are the 3 types of junctions in the epithelial tissues. So tight junctions is useful for preventing leakage of fluids from the cells. Leakage of fluids from the cells. So if we take a sweat glands, so sweat glands contains sweat and water. So tight junctions is useful for preventing the leakage of fluids from inside the cells to the outside. So tight junctions is present like this. So if these are the two cells, so tight junctions means here in between the two cells a tight bond is established so that the fluid inside the cells do not escape out. So this is the function of tight junctions. And the desmosomes act like a rivets or a screws. So the function of screws are, as we know, the screws bind the two cells together. So in the same type, so if these are the two cells, these desmosomes act like a screws and bind the cells. So here this also contains keratin filaments. So these keratin filaments give support to these desmosomes. So this is about desmosomes. And the gap junctions means these are similar to plasmodesmata of plant cells. So gap junctions, see if we take two cells like this, so gap junctions means these provide interconnection between the two cells so that the fluids from one cell can enter into the other cell. So this is about the functions of gap junctions. And if we take the structure of epithelial cell, so if we take the structure of epithelial tissue, so for suppose this is an epithelial tissue and this is an basement membrane. So epithelial cells lie above the, so these are the epithelial cells or epithelial tissue, and this is the basal membrane, and this one is an underlying another tissue. So the epithelial tissue is present on the basal membrane, and this basal membrane is present above the underlying tissue. So this epithelial tissue contains nutrients from the underlying tissue by a process called diffusion. So this is about the structure. So this is an epithelial tissue and this is an basement membrane and this is an underlying tissue. So this is about the structure. So we can now learn about the different types of epithelial tissue and the examples. See, epithelial tissues are categorized based on the types of cells, so which is nothing but the cell type and the number of layers of cells. So epithelial tissues are broadly classified into three types. They are simple epithelium, compound epithelium, and the third one is glandular epithelium. So these are the types of epithelial tissues. So simple epithelium means they contain only one layer of cells. So simple epithelium contains only one layer of cells. It is called as simple epithelium. So the main function of simple epithelium is absorption. So it contains mainly four functions. They are absorption, secretion, filtration, and the diffusion. So these are the four functions of a simple epithelium. So simple epithelium means the epithelium contains only one layer of cells. So if only one layer is present, it is useful for the absorption of fluids, secretion of fluids, filtration of certain substances, and diffusion of certain substances. So based on the type of a cell, it is further classified. Simple epithelium is further classified into three types. They are simple squamous epithelium, simple columnar epithelium, and simple cuboidal epithelium. Okay, so these are the different types of simple epithelium. So simple squamous epithelium means this epithelium contains only single layer of cell, but the cells are like a tile-like cells. So the cells are flat. So here the cells look like a tiles or flat shaped structures. So this is called as squamous epithelium, and this below layer is a basement membrane. So this is about the squamous epithelium. And here columnar epithelium means the cells appear tall. So here the cells appear like a tall like pillars. So this is about the simple columnar epithelium. And simple cuboidal epithelium means the cells appear in the form of a cubes. So this is the structure. So if we take a simple squamous epithelium and their location, so use the code AB. So AB means simple squamous epithelium was found in the alveoli of lungs. So A means alveoli of lungs. You need to remember these examples because these are the locations of simple squamous epithelium. So the locations are alveoli of lungs, body cavity, blood vessels, and the Bowman's capsule. So just remember this code AB. So this squamous epithelium contains tile-like cells, and this is found in the alveoli of lungs, body cavity, blood vessels, and the Bowman's capsule. So this is about the simple squamous epithelium. So if we take a simple cuboidal epithelium, it contains only single layer of cells, and the cells appear in the form of cubes. So the location of a cuboidal epithelium is a proximal and distal convoluted tubule of nephron. So proximal and distal convoluted tubule of nephron. So this is the location of a cuboidal epithelium. And if we take a simple columnar epithelium, it also contains some goblet cells in between the columnar cells. So the function of goblet cells is to secrete certain substances. So this columnar epithelium is broadly classified into two types. They are ciliated columnar epithelium and the non-ciliated columnar epithelium. So ciliated means they contain tall cells and goblet cells, but they also contain cilia such as short hair-like structures above the cells. So it is called as ciliated columnar epithelium. So the examples or the location of a ciliated columnar epithelium is F, B, C, V. So F means fallopian tubules, bronchioles, and the central canal of spinal cord, and the V means ventricles. So these are the examples of a ciliated columnar epithelium, and the code is FBCV. So F means fallopian tubules, B means bronchioles, C means central canal of spinal cord, and V means ventricles. So this is about the ciliated columnar epithelium. And the non-ciliated columnar epithelium means they contain only single layer of cells, and the cells are tall-like but do not contain hair-like structures called as cilia. And the examples are stomach and intestine. So stomach and intestine contains non-ciliated columnar epithelium. So these are the types of simple epithelium. So simple epithelium functions are absorption, secretion, filtration and diffusion, and based on the types of cells they are classified into three types: simple squamous epithelium, simple columnar epithelium and simple cuboidal epithelium. So squamous epithelium contains one layer of cells, but the cells look like tiles. In columnar epithelium the cells look like tall structures, and cuboidal the cells look like cubes. And the examples are AB, which is nothing but alveoli of lungs, body cavity, blood vessels and Bowman's capsule. And here this columnar epithelium is further classified into ciliated and non-ciliated. Ciliated examples are FBCV, fallopian tubules, bronchioles, central canal of spinal cord and ventricles. And the non-ciliated epithelium is found during the stomach and intestine, and the cuboidal epithelium is found in the proximal and distal converted tubule of nephron, and the columnar cells also contain some specialized cells called goblet cells. So these goblet cells are useful for the secretion of certain substances. So this is about the simple epithelium. So now let us learn about the compound epithelium. So if we take a compound epithelium, so compound epithelium means the epithelium contains more layers of cells. So if we take, this is in basement membrane, so the cells are present in different layers. So in simple epithelium only one layer of cells is present, and in compound epithelium many layers of cells are present. So many layers are present, so hence this epithelium is useful for the protection of the body. So as it contains more number of cell layers, so it protects the body from physical and chemical stresses. So this is the important function of compound epithelium, and it is useful for the protection. And this compound epithelium is mainly three types. They are stratified, keratinized squamous epithelium, and the second one is a stratified non-keratinized squamous epithelium, and the third one is a stratified columnar epithelium. So let me tell you about each word in detail. So if we take a first one, it is called a stratified keratinized squamous epithelium. Means, so stratified means more layers. So layers are commonly called as strats. So stratified means more layers of squamous epithelium is present. So if squamous epithelium means tile-like cells, so if the tile-like cells are present in a more number, it is called stratified squamous. And keratin means keratin filaments are present between the layers. So if more number of tile-like cells are present if more layers of tile-like cells are present, and if they contain keratin filaments in between them, it is called stratified keratinized squamous epithelium. It is found in the dry surfaces of the skin. So this is about stratified keratinized squamous epithelium. And stratified non-keratinized squamous epithelium means it contains different layers of tile-like cells but do not contain keratin filaments. So it is mostly found during the moist surfaces of the skin such as esophagus, stomach and the buccal cavity. So this is the location of a stratified non-keratinized squamous epithelium. And the third one is a stratified columnar squamous epithelium. So stratified means, so this one is only stratified columnar epithelium. So stratified means more layers, and the columnar means column-like cells are present in the more layer. So this is about stratified columnar epithelium, and it is found in the salivary glands and the sweat glands and the pancreatic ducts. So the compound epithelium main function is protection from the physical and the mechanical stresses. It is further classified into stratified keratinized squamous epithelium, stratified non-keratinized squamous epithelium and the stratified columnar epithelium. And this location is a dry surface of the skin, and it is the wet location is wet surface of the skin, which is nothing but esophagus, stomach and the buccal cavity. And the stratified columnar epithelium is found in the salivary glands, sweat glands and the pancreatic ducts. So this is about the compound epithelium. And the next one is a glandular epithelium. So glandular epithelium means certain types of columnar and cuboidal epithelial cells. So certain types of columnar and cuboidal cells secrete some secretions. So these secretions and the cells together constitute the glandular epithelium. So based on the types of cells, the glandular epithelium is classified into unicellular and multicellular. So in unicellular glandular epithelium, the cells remain isolated and are not bound together, whereas in multicellular cells together bound together with the junctions or the cementing material. So this is about unicellular and multicellular glandular epithelium, and based on the type of release of secretions. So mode or release of secretions, these are classified into exocrine glands and endocrine glands. So exocrine glands release the secretions through ducts, whereas the endocrine glands are called ductless glands. So they do not release their secretions through ducts and they are directly released into the fluids such as blood. So the exocrine glands mainly release certain secretions such as milk, saliva, mucus and earwax. So if we take these all secretions, these are all secreted through ducts to the body, and so they are called ducts and they are exocrine glands, whereas the endocrine glands are the ductless glands. They do not release secretions like milk and saliva, they directly release hormones. So hormones are transferred to different organisms or to different organs through blood. So this is about exocrine and endocrine glands, and based on the mode of secretion, they are classified into merocrine glands, apocrine and the holocrine. So in the merocrine gland, so the secretions are released without affecting or damaging the cell. So there is no effect to the cell of the tissue. Whereas in apocrine gland, the apical part is pinched off with secretions. So apical part is pinched off, whereas in holocrine glands, entire cell is pinched. So see, if we take columnar cells, so these are the secretions. So in merocrine glands, the secretions are released out without causing any damage to the cell. So if we take apocrine, so these are the cells and these are the secretions. So it finally results in the, see, this part is pinched off and released as a secretions. So this is the apocrine, whereas in holocrine, so it contains 3 cells and the third cell releases secretion and this third cell goes out and these 2 cells remain outside. So this is about the holocrine glands. So this is the entire classification of epithelial cell and its classification and functions and their location. So if you have any doubts, do comment in the comment box and please subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.